Alright, let's get this started. Okay, visually looks fine. A little bit high up there though. We can just fix that. Good. Does it sound good? I hear the... Okay, it sounds good as well, so hello people of the internet. It is I, Soulrack Dragon here, back with more Fate Grand Order, where today, Happy New Year's Eve! First and foremost, for those watching this on Twitch, it's New Year's Eve right now, and yeah, hope you have a pleasant New Year. There will probably be a special New Year's stream as well, just to go over the New Year's stuff. Speaking of, is this the... yeah, this is just the New Year's Countdown campaign, where there will be some login bonuses, it looks like, but nothing... Oh! Gilgamesh gets his charisma boosted to He Who Saw the Deep for also increase NP strength for all allies that are Heaven attribute, and... okay, and a star battery. And Enkidu, perfect form becomes Wisdom of the People. He also gets an NP battery. Okay. Interesting. Is there anything about... no, I'm not seeing anything about the summons, the GSSR and everything for tomorrow, which I will be doing. That will be a special independent stream. Let me just claim this stuff, but, yeah. Otherwise, not much has changed in the less than 24 hours since I last streamed, so we're gonna pretty much be jumping right into things here. Let me just claim my login stuffs. That's enough. Alright, so we're in Lostbelt number 7 right now. That is what you are all here for in actuality. So if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe so you can catch when the next part comes out. For those on Twitch, I have no idea when the next part, if the next part is even going to be next. This one, the Lost City of Water, I mean, we're not at Mexico City yet, but we're getting close, so I imagine that we are probably... that this one might be the last one. Section 9 here might be the last section of the Part 1 release, but we'll find out here in just a little bit. First, let's start things off. Section 9, the Lost City of Water. Only 4 arrows on this one. Okay, interesting. It's letting me choose this first. I do not know if that's going to change anything. We'll find out, but we will bring along Olga. Then we'll bring along Cass with her CE, Mash with a Sumo, and Lambda won't be too good against the Saber, but against the Archer and Zerkers, I think Lambda, yeah, Lambda's probably our better bet here. We'll even throw a K-Scope on her. Okay? Good? Good. Let's roll. So now, is it going to... okay. Interesting. So it's when it tries to go straight to... from the... ah, there. Okay, now it went and blacked out on me. Okay, I was a little bit, preemptive there, it seems. I thought we had figured it out, but turns out we did not. So, I will have to restart FGO. I do hope that whenever Part 2 is released, it does not have the same issues, because it's kind of annoying. Kind of greatly annoying. Okay, resume the battle. Man, I thought I had figured it out, but nope. Turns out I didn't. Alright, Axolotls. Lots and lots of Axolotls. 5 on this one. You know, I think I'm gonna do a Swibbity swap. Also, this must be the bunny outfit for Koyan. Nice. Swibbity. I said Swibbity swap. Bring in the Lambda. And let's boost her up a bit. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Bebop. We should be fine here. Good. I will definitely be able to triple NP if it comes down to it. Yay! That's always nice. Fatal battle already. Koyan! Why are we fighting one of your vehicles, Koyan? Why? I thought you only sold them guns! Oh, this is the archer. It's reloading. More package. I like how the sprite is actually a little bit damaged, though, for breaking the first bar. That's pretty cool. Throw that on Lamb. And then a BAQ. So close. So close. Just BAQ again. So long as it does not fully charge and then just say to delete me, I should be fine. Armor repair. It doesn't look any better or worse, so. But it has a guts now. We'll do that. And that. Get the invincibility going. Lamb smash. Ah, excuse me. Come on, you can do it, Lamb. Yes! Alright, it had guts. NFF update. Oh, that gave it an evasion. That sucks. But I'm pretty sure Olga here can take care of it, because this will give ignore invincibility to everybody. Let's get some stars. This might not be enough power to eliminate, except for that crit might have been the difference. Yep, that crit definitely made the difference here. Excellent. Most excellent indeed. Okay. Fatal battle. Oh, a tamed dino. That's kind of dark. Whip of Taming as well. Yeah, that's kind of dark. It has 4 invincibilities, but we have Ignore Invincibility active right now. Do that. So that we can do that. So that way, Lamb smash. At least I think, yeah, I still have Ignore Invincibility. And we're dropping frames, again. Weird. There has to be something, it's gotta be something with my internet in general, then, if I'm still dropping frames like this. Alright, that wasn't that bad at all. That was honestly kind of easy. I keep forgetting to examine the new drops descriptions. I'm a dum-dum. We arrived. That was rather quick. Looks very modern. Stand. Lots of them. They have masks on all the time, though. Unless these aren't their masks and it's actually their faces. At least I don't need to try and say what they're saying. Oh my, this is not what I was expecting. This looks like the big cities back home. It's true, there are so many people everywhere. You look. There must be at least 30,000 coming and going on the main street alone. Mash, you really should not be untransformed right now. We are in enemy territory. Oh yes, isn't it wonderful? Mexico City is currently home to 100,000 all Aklama warriors. The non-combatants, women and children, have built villages in the neighboring jungles, where they work to support Mexico City. So this city was built solely for commerce, or rather ritual purposes then. And what's more, you're saying they didn't do so on top of the ruins of an existing city like with Chichen Itza? That they actually built this enormous metropolis from scratch? Not quite. I hate to admit it, but the actual city itself was provided by Tezcatlipoca. Tezcatlipoca, the divine spirit servant of David of the Cryptors, summoned. He gave the Aklama civilization in the form of the city, and revived Aztec mythology here in Mictlan. So here they worship the Black Sun, Tezcatlipoca, the smoking mirror, as opposed to Kukulkan. As a species, Aklama are much weaker than dinos, but thanks to their far greater numbers, their adaptability, and most importantly, their aggressive nature, something the dinos entirely lack, they've flourished, as you can see. I understand this Tezcatlipoca guy and the Aklama are Chaldea's enemies, but all that aside, I've got to say the city doesn't suck. It's full to bursting with the energy of people determined to live and improve their lives. If anything, the city is closer to the color soul mesh myth than anywhere else I've seen. Young miss, as an aspiring leader, I must advise against making such statements, which might hurt or offend your supporters, especially when they're standing right beside you. What are you talking about? I'm not saying the Aklama are better than the dinos or anything. Did you not hear the all that aside part? Besides, if we're talking about who we like more, I'd like to pay you 100 times more. He's way smarter and nicer than any Aklama I've met. Aw, look at that. That made to pay you happy. Anyway, I think you've got a sense for Mexico City now, right? Then let's get to the reason we came here. Chaldea's abducted staff. Leonardo da Vinci, Sion Eltnam, Nemo, and Kadak. I suggest our first order of business should be to find out where they're being held. Does that mean you think we should split up? I'm not sure that's a good idea. We may look like Aklama to the people here thanks to my disguise spell, but we still can't understand them. It's true. Even the Ortonax's built-in translator doesn't seem to work on their language. That neatly rules out gathering information by conversing with the locals. So our only choice is to search for a likely holding area on foot. Somewhere heavily guarded, perhaps, or where we can sense Nemo's presence. Of course, were I in Tezcatlipoca's position, I'd keep them somewhere which would block detection of such things. Yeah, what about the two buildings in the center? I think those are twin temples. They're both about 60 meters tall. Each has a path leading up to its roof, and I can see what looks like altars in the center between them. Oh yes, those are the sacrificial altars where they pluck out the still beating hearts of their sacrifices. Well, that's not important right now, so we can save that topic for later. Those temples are dedicated to Tlaloc and... Google! Huitzilopochtli. It's an Aztec god that represents war and sacrifice. And... excuse me. War, the sun, and sacrifice. So, let's get the Wikipedia page open. Wikipedia, you're my most reliable pronunciation guide. Alright, here it should go.
Huitzilopochtli.
Huitzilopochtli. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'll be able to pronounce that reliably. Hang on.
Huitzilopochtli.
Temple contains a divine space for Tezcatlipoca to rest, and Tlaloc's temple contains the throne for the Aklama king. I'm afraid your disguise spell won't work on Tezcatlipoca, Father Kotomene, and since he'll almost certainly kill us the moment he sees us, we should keep our distance from those temples. What about David's? Hey, Jixter, welcome to the stream. Happy things. How long till I start leveling servants again? Not sure. Whenever I end a stream earlier than expected, presumably. So probably tomorrow, since that's going to be a New Year's stream, and I'm Gonna be doing the New Year's GSSR, maybe rolling for the New Year's Servant, I'm not sure. It kind of depends on who it is. Maybe rolling for NATO Burrito Altar if I don't care for the New Year's Servant. So yeah, probably tomorrow we'll be doing a little bit of leveling up. Not sure exactly how much, though. But how be things, Jakester? How be things? David rarely comes to Mexico City. The other times I've come here, he was out in the jungle investigating old ruins. It seemed pretty clear he was leaving city matters. That is, the war between the Dinos and the Yaklama in Tezcatlipoca's hands. No, I wish to be surprised. I wish to be pleasantly surprised, though. I almost feel, given how we have a sprite, all skills known, and animations, I almost feel like it's going to be you, Olga. I just get the feeling it's going to be you, Olga Marie. That's my hunch right now. Because we do have a pattern to follow, and it's Foreigner Saber, Foreigner Saber, Foreigner Saber. And I'm pretty sure this year it's supposed to be a Foreigner Servant, if memory serves. Pretty sure. No, it's supposed to be a Saber, because 2024 was Koyan, so it's got to be a Saber Servant. I don't know who it could be then. Also, he can focus entirely on his personal field work. I swear I still can't tell if he hates being a cryptor or loves it. So who is...
Huitzilopochtli.
I'm not going to pronounce that myself. I'm just relying on Wikipedia's pronunciation.
Huitzilopochtli
is said to be the Aztec tribal god of the sun and war. When the Aztec people lost their land and were forced to wander around Central America,
Huitzilopochtli
guided them to Mictlan, the Lake of the Moon. He's a war god who demanded countless sacrifices as his fuel with which to move the sun. It's said he wields the fiery snake Zihuicotl as a weapon, and he has blue arms and legs. Oh, I skipped a bit there. This has led to some people claiming he was actually the god Tezcatlipoca from Mayan mythology before the Aztec people adopted him. Hey, Quetz. Zihuicotl as in Quetzalcoatl. Yes, since
Huitzilopochtli
wielded Zihuicotl as a weapon, he was said to be an enemy of Quetzalcoatl. Well, never mind that. It sounds like we can go around the city as we like, yeah. This will be my first time getting to see actual humans in their element. So, Mash, I'm counting on you two to explain anything I don't understand. I'm afraid that won't be possible, young miss. Since we can't actually speak to anyone here, we'll need to make more effective use of our resources. Given the possibility of unforeseen complications, I think it'd be best if you and Tepeyu waited outside of the city. What? How come? It's because of my size, isn't it? I may look like an axolotl, but I'll still bump into people in large crowds. And similarly... All right, Olga Marie's horns. Can you just pop those horns off, Madam President? You say the most bizarre things sometimes. You know that, right? And of course we can't. And don't ask me to make them smaller. Believe me, I've already made them as compact as I possibly can. I'm so sorry, Olga Marie, but I think we need you to do the prudent thing this time. Yeah, okay, your companion's lives are hanging in the balance here. Fine, I'll save my colonial observations for another time. But in exchange, I want you and Sol to get a good look at the city in my place. If we're gonna fight the Yaklama, learning about their culture, ideology, and way of life is the least we can do. I know we've had to fight them without knowing anything about them so far, but things are different now that we have a chance to learn. And since you'll be acting as my special secretaries, I don't want you two to be using ignorance as an excuse for the brutality. So, we need to observe and absorb as much as possible while not being able to understand a word that is being said. That's not going to go well unless I've got subtitles going on. You know, there's a reason that when I watch anime, I watch it dubbed or subbed. It's because otherwise I am completely lost. It's also the reason why I do not play the JP version of FGO, because, again, I will be completely lost. Arrow 2, no battles. I'll start the checking the alleys off the main road. If things take a turn for the worse, I'll come to rescue on my motorcycle.
I'll take a look around the temples. Don't worry, I'll keep my distance. I just want to get a handle on their structure. You two should take the main street. Don't forget to behave like Aklema.
So, just waving guns around everywhere. That's what we gotta act like, then. Looks like we have a big street to cover. It's a shame we won't be able to talk to any of the Aklema since we don't understand their language.
Have a stand by in spirit form.
Yeah, I know. There are no child Aklema in the city, so it'll only draw attention if I materialize and use a disguise. And besides, I can always pop out and help you fight in an emergency. Don't worry about me. You two take your time looking around. Sure thing. Don't see nothing that looks like a jail or police station. Yes, the street was nothing but shops. Excuse me. Although, don't you think the city feels a little too lively? It's hard to be sure since everyone's wearing masks, but they all seem strangely on edge. Where's their guns? These aren't true Aklema. They don't have guns. Frenetic? I don't like this. I'm worried about those who were captured. I know it's dangerous, but I think we're going to have to talk to Aklema if we're going to get any information. What do you mean you won't trade with me? Last time you said this was worth the same as 10 rattlesnakes. You don't need it anymore because the ritual's tomorrow. Oh, I see. So you already have enough blood. That makes sense. Oh, man. After all the work I put into catching these to trade for the beautiful Beretta. Barrette? Are they negotiating a gun? That's a hair clip. Okay. Senpai, I think that sounded like... Definitely language from proper human history. Alright. Hello. Potential servant candidate. So we have, so far, the following as potential servant candidates for one of the 3 remaining spots, since we already know Needle Burrito Altar. She's going to happen at some point, and she's already being summonable. But I was told there are 4 servants that will be summoned from this Lostbelt. So, current candidates we have are King Protea Altar, Tez Catlapoca, Banienma Altar, the one dude who tried to murder all of Chaldea. That is not Tezcatlipoca. This chick. So we have 5 candidates. Oh, and, the weird dude that has our command spells that altered King Protea and Benienma. So we have 6 possible candidates for 3 remaining spots. I really hope King Protea Altar is one of them, and Benienma Altar, because, let's be honest here, Benienma Altar, she was a cutie. Anyways, that aside, you mean me? Well, thank you for talking to... ... I was right, excuse me. About the language we're speaking, or rather, we're speaking. Oh, don't worry, sir, they're not speaking Dino's language. This is the new language Tezcatlipoca's priest, David, uses. It's not easy to learn, but it makes for so much more precise communication than Nakleto words and gestures, so it's very handy. Just be patient, it won't be long before you'll get to learn it in school too. Now then, where were we? Nice to meet you, travelers. My name's... making me Google things so much! Eagle. I'm just calling her Eagle. Because that's the translation for the word. Yeah, that is just eagle in Aztec. Also wood, apparently. It's either eagle or... it's also golden eagle. So this is just eagle. Welcome eagle, everybody. Now where's the Now where were we? Nice to meet you, travelers. My name's Eagle. What's yours? I see you learned how to speak proper human history language too, just like King Iskali. That's the jerk's name? Sure did. Guess you did too? Yep, it wasn't easy, but it was so cool and stylish I picked it up in no time. Are you impressed? Are you going to compliment me? Never mind, such direct praise can be kind of embarrassing. So how come you went out of your way to talk like me in a foreign language? Are you trying to beef up security ahead of tomorrow's ritual? I guess the rumors about Chaldean conquerors in the area must be true. But sorry, I'm not a soldier myself. I just came to Mexico City today to get this beautiful jade barrette. So I'm afraid I can't take part in the sacrificial ritual. I'm a landscaper and a farmer, not a fighter. So all the female Aklama do live outside the city, just like Koyanskaya said. I'm not sure this lady knows too much about Mexico City, Master. What would you like to do? Also, now that there's no dialogue box there, what is with that outfit? Specifically, what's with the pants? Because that is a very specific type of pants that I would not have expected in FGO. Do I know you from somewhere? Maybe. The jungle is pretty thick and it's easy to lose sight of things in there. So maybe we passed each other without realizing. Or maybe you've traveled with someone who looks a lot like me? What a lovely coincidence that would be. You smell honey from him. I'd be willing to trade for that. Just out of curiosity, you wouldn't happen to have anything sweet on you, would you? You mean like this? Wow, I don't need to understand what he's saying to know that this is I'm really excited. He seems to be asking to trade for it. Sure. And here you go. Sure, we were given that candy skull thing by the dude that scammed us out of our command seals, and we just traded it for a hairband that we are giving to this eagle stranger. Only the Master of Chaldea. You're giving this to me. May I ask why? It was given me, but I doubt I have any use for it. I see, so that's how you two think. Okay then, don't mind if I do. Oh, humans never given me a present before. Let me tell you something that just might help you out as my way of thanking you. Excuse me. The Chaldean conquerors King Iskali and Tezcatlipoca brought here are scheduled to be sacrificed tomorrow. They all have special blood, so they've been chosen as sacrifices to the sun. So if you wanted to say rescued them, I'd get on that as quickly as I could if I were you. Otherwise, you might wind up having to fight all the 100,000 Aklama in the city at once. Then again, being clever is kind of what you people from proper human history are about, isn't it, Soul? How'd you know my name? Yep, definitely a potential servant summon candidate. I'm sorry, Senpai. I lost track of her. She wasn't especially fast, but she slipped through the crowd almost like wind through tree leaves. Or like an eagle. Nobody could have caught her. Let's head back to camp. Right. If what she said is true, then we don't have a moment to lose. Let's hurry and find the others so we can come up with a plan. That's not the end of the section, surprisingly. Love how Olga's the only one with kind of a shocked expression. They're gonna sacrifice the Chaldeans by plucking out their still beating hearts. What the heck do they do to deserve that? I wouldn't punish something like that even for defaming the president.
You're mistaken, young miss. These sacrifices are not criminals. The Aztecs offer up their hearts as a holy act. A sinner would not be given this privilege even if they were to ask for it. Those typically chosen as sacrifices are warriors from defeated enemy tribes or people raised specifically to be sacrificed.
I know that. That's the whole human sacrifice thing, right? But that doesn't change the fact that they're killing prisoners. These rulers should be ashamed of themselves, killing outsiders and hoping it'll make things better for themselves. Appreciate you getting so upset on my friend's behalf. I'm upset because I'm disappointed in myself. I'm disappointed I was so impressed by the Aklama building such a big city that I gave them 4 stars. Excuse me, may I ask a question? Why sacrifice them? Did this sort of thing happen in proper human history as well? I understand it's more important to focus on how we're going to rescue those Chaldeans before they're sacrificed, but...
Not at all. These are...
Come on, stop!
These are precisely the questions which will allow us to understand the Akhlema, which may well be key in rescuing the hostages. It's quite a pertinent question to pay you. In fact, I have a question for you as well, but it can wait until later. For the moment, this represents a good chance to explain the purpose of human sacrifice played in Aztec civilization. I advise you to listen well too, Soul.
Okay, I'm listening.
Alright, I'll try to be as concise as I can. The Aztecs were not the first civilization in Central America. Some, such as the Olmecs and Zapotecs, predate even the Aztecs. And as an Aztec mythology was the last to originate in Mesoamerica, it was heavily influenced by Mayan mythology, which itself was influenced by the Olmecs. My thinking is that the mythologies of Latin America are not separated by tribe or civilization, but rather that there is a sort of shared remembrance on the creation of the world continuously passed on by all who live here.
Remembrance, Is this like some sort of image the jungle has planted in people's minds?
That's right. Remember, this land is vast, and these intertribal conflicts were a constant part of their daily lives. So the people who lived there would never be so greedy, or perhaps arbitrarily, as to mix their own motives with creation myths. No, I suspect they simply built up their myths based on whatever they were feeling at the time, which surely includes staring into the jungle, swirling darkness, and harmonizing with it.
True, compared to other mythologies, Mesoamerica's cosmological timeline is fairly fractured. Similar meanings carry different names, and even its perception of time is highly unusual. So while we do have written historical records, it's difficult to piece everything together and keep it all free of contradictions. And you think it's because this mythology wasn't created by humans, but instead was created by the land itself and possibly something greater still.
Indeed, the people of Central America never kept any large livestock, never used vehicles to transport anything, and never rode animals. Though they had all the necessary knowledge to do so had they wished. I can only assume they intentionally denied themselves any development which might have made their lives easier or more comfortable if it meant humans reigned supreme in the jungle. In contrast to this, they were intensely interested in astronomy, unusually so, some could argue. Their astronomical techniques were by far more accurate than any other ancient civilization. Suffice to say, they were extremely interested in, as well as respectful and fearful of outer space. Why? The answer is obvious. Their ancestors were once threatened or even victimized by something which came from it. The memories of the very land they lived in told them that their world had been destroyed by something alien to it. In fact, the Aztec mythology, the world meets its end several times. Do you know how many times, Soul?
Mash said it once.
That's right, 5 times. 4 to be precise, since in Aztec mythology the 5th time is the age we're living in now. While there are tales of the world itself being destroyed in other mythologies, tales of it being destroyed and rebuilt time and time again are unique to the Aztecs. Suffice to say, in Aztec civilization, in all of Central America, the land holds clear memories of devastation and rebirth, and the people who lived there took that as a lesson.
I see. If something like that were to happen multiple times, it would be sensible for people to learn from and prepare for it. So you say they learned to practice astronomy, and their way to address the dangers they saw were these human sacrifices?
Indeed, the Aztecs believed the world would end every 52 years.
Years?
It would supposedly take place on the day their 2 calendars, the agricultural and sacred calendar, aligned. On this day, the sun would lose its power and the world itself would be plunged into darkness. And that is the very brief overview of Aztec.
I don't know that word. Eschatology. Eschatology.
During the twilight of this day, the Aztec people would hold a grand ceremony in the capital of their capital city of Tenochtitlan. People would put out each and every fire in their homes and village. These symbolized the old years. They would then offer their own blood as for ceremony, fervently praying for the sun's return, out of fear tomorrow may never come. Aztec priests, filled with their fervent wish for their people, would then tear the still beating hearts of their sacrifices and offer them to a new grand fire, which symbolized a new cycle. The belief was that this would grant the sun exactly enough power to keep the world alive for the next 52 years, allowing the world to be reborn. Human sacrifices were neither an offering to the gods nor a mean for controlling the populace. They were the embodiment of people's wishes for the world to be born again. In Aztec mythology, there is no way to save the world from devastation. It is inevitable. That was the common understanding among all the people of Central America. The fact that they simply accepted the sun's death and the world end as an facts of life goes to show how harsh and unforgiving the land must have been for them. I can't believe it. You're all from proper human history, and yet you're all so gentle and rational. To take such utter madness so seriously. Did no one point out to them that the sun operates quite independently of any human intervention? Madness or not, this was their truth. Only those who were still alive at the time can take issue with it. All we can do now is remember and record their experiences. That being said, I believe in terms of magecraft, this was all very much real. The fact is, once the Aztecs stopped making human sacrifices, their empire came to an end. Their mythology and their world is now completely gone. That's news to me. Is this your own weird interpretation of things? This interpretation is all in keeping with their mythology, Koyanskaya. You may recall that earlier I said that Tezcatlipoca and Quetzalcoatl used to feud. But I never said what it was they were feuding over. After everything I've told you, perhaps now you can say what it is they disagreed on, Soul. The ritual of human sacrifice. Sublegends have posited that of the Aztec pantheon, Quetzalcoatl was the only god who opposed human sacrifice. Tezcatlipoca, on the other hand, was all for it. You can learn a great deal about these gods' natures from this conflict alone. Tezcatlipoca strong... Pardon the yawn. Believes strongly in upholding the land's teachings and protecting the Mesoamerican people. Meanwhile, Quetzalcoatl believed people's lives could and should be better and wanted to get rid of what he saw as old-fashioned, obsolete beliefs. When Spaniards first arrived in Central America in the 16th century, they were astonished by the Aztec Empire's prosperity and the glittering city of Tenochtitlan. One can imagine them saying something like, "This must be the greatest water-top city in the entire world." And yet they not only continue their barbaric practice of human sacrifice, but it remains a core part of their religion. Excuse me. The Spaniards quickly found similarities between Quetzalcoatl and the Christian saints, so they decreed him the good god. And almost by default, Tezcatlipoca, his rival and opposite in many ways, was labeled evil. In spite of this, Montezuma II, the king of Tenochtitlan at the time, not only let Hernan Cortez, leader of the Spaniards and eventual conqueror of the Aztecs, into his city. You may recall he did so with open arms. Why did he invite Cortez into his city? Some say it's because he believed Cortez was Quetzalcoatl, whose second coming was prophesied after his banishing. But that doesn't quite make sense. Tenochtitlan was worshipped as the rain god Tlaloc, and the tribal god... Hang on.
Huitzilopochtli.
At the time. So why would the king be so willing to welcome Quetzalcoatl, whose legends state he opposed the very ritual sacrifice the city's gods encouraged?
Now they mention it, it doesn't make sense. People say Cortez tricked Montezuma. Thinking about it, though, it seems just as possible Montezuma II was using Cortez himself.
Exactly. The historical record tells us Montezuma was relatively weak compared to other known rulers. But he was also wise, open-minded, and above all else, had the vision to imagine a better future for the Aztec Empire, sharing similar values to Quetzalcoatl. It may be that he believed the Aztec Empire's neighboring tribes would eventually destroy them, and so brought in outside power in the form of the Spaniards. For that to happen, he knew he would have to destroy the foundation of human sacrifice upon which their culture was built. When Cortez showed up and was said to be the second coming of Quetzalcoatl, Montezuma II saw him as a tool to be used. So he invited the conquistador into the city, knowing he was poisonous, but then he found himself on the losing side of a game the two were playing. Cortez was a foreigner. He knew absolutely nothing of Mesoamerican cultures. So my guess is that Montezuma II thought it would be easy to make use of him. But before he and Montezuma II met, Cortez met a woman who would prove to be his own very good luck charm. A local woman called Malintzin, nicknamed nowadays as La Malinche. The daughter of a nobleman, La Malinche was an intelligent woman who had been sold to a rival tribe as a slave. She was then taken by Spaniards as spoils of war after they defeated La Malinche's new tribe in battle. Her noble background and education meant she had no trouble learning their language. She taught Cortez about the Aztec Empire's language and culture and investigated its weaknesses for him. Consequently, it's believed Montezuma II was the one who wound up deceived, and the Aztec Empire fell to the Spanish one. It said the Spaniards' victory was a miracle since they only had 600 cavalry to the Aztecs' 200,000 soldiers. But the truth is, La Malinche was the true cause for the Aztec Empire's downfall. Her and a coalition of all the rival tribes the Aztecs had been subjugating for years. Though, of course, once the Aztec Empire was gone, the Spaniards would go on to eradicate the other tribes as well.
I see. And so the Emperor who thought to stop the ritual of human sacrifice was the man who invited the Aztec Empire's downfall. The end result is that their culture ground to a complete stop, thus paradoxically it would have been better for the ritual to continue. Is that your argument?
Yes, though only if we set aside the question of ethics and human rights. For it was just when a dull grey light was shown on their ritual of rebirth, a mystic dating back to the age of myth, that their son died. Now here's my question for you, Tepeyu. Has the sun in Mictlan ever gone out?
Okay, interesting question. Yes, it has. I've never experienced it myself, but they say that once, ages and ages ago, Mala was covered in shadows and the sun was lost. The Dinos refer to that event as the Night of Dread. The sun disappeared and the night lasted for what seemed like an eternity.
So if Mictlan's sun has in fact been lost before, the Aklema are actually somewhat justified in practicing this ritual. They truly have brought proper human history's Aztec culture back to life. That means stopping this ritual sacrifice would be tremendously difficult.
One wrong move and we'd be fighting a war against 100,000 Aklema, and I doubt that's a war we supposed conquerors can win.
It seems then that the best course of action is open to us is likely rescuing the hostages at an opportune moment in the ritual and then escaping as quickly as we can. By the way, Tepeyu, do you know of anyone who could tell us more about this Night of Dread?
I've only heard the priests speak of it, and they only say it happened. The only ones who would know more are Kukulkan and the observatories. No, never mind. There may be detailed record in the Solar Sojourn, Chichen Itza's throne room.
Understood. Perhaps we'll get a chance to see it later then. At any rate, thank you all for your patience. Let's return to the matter at hand. Tomorrow, the captured Chaldeans will be used as human sacrifices. The only way we can stop that is by rescuing them before the ritual begins. However, I'm afraid that I have some very unfortunate news to share in that regard. The prisoners are being kept underground beneath Tlaloc's temple. What's more, the temple is guarded by a frankly absurd number of armed Aklema. Never mind rescuing them from their cells, we wouldn't even be able to get close.
So you already know where they were being kept? No wonder you took your time with that ritual talk. If that look on your face is anything to go by, you've reached a conclusion too, though I'm guessing it's probably the same as mine.
Indeed, it may not be possible to sneak into the temple now, but tomorrow will be a different story. If in proper human history, the Aztec ritual of human sacrifice was part of a ceremony to bring new life to the world, and involved every Aztec citizen ceasing battle and prostrating themselves in prayer before the ritual's success. The Aklema are likely no different. At the very least, we can expect the warriors outside the temple will be following the traditions of the ritual. Of course, there are bound to be some soldiers inside the temple as well, but I trust you can handle them, Soul. So the plan is
sneak out to the temple right before and get everyone out. Sounds like a plan.
Correct. Of course, you'll require a route suited to sneaking in, but I believe our capable bunny here can look into that. In the meantime, the rest of us can recover our strength, then set out for the temple at dawn. How does that sound?
Why are you even asking? There's obviously no alternatives. Very well. I shall secure a route into the temple. The rest of you, enjoy your pleasant little chat. I swear on NFF services I'll find the safest route possible. If it's being sworn on by NFF services, then I believe. Another no battle node. That was a very long discussion node, by the way. Very, very long. You are friggin' alive? You got incinerated. You should not be alive. Olga, why is he alive? I thought you turned him to dust. I thought you Thanos'd him. Olga! Olga! The torches are lit along the main street. It will soon be a year since the ritual began. I suppose this will be the last time I see the waterway that runs down the city center, or the moon's silvery blue path. And there's she... Wait. That's a different ascension. Okay, so... Tlaloc is definitely a servant. Because that is 2 different outfits we've seen her in. This Tlaloc is definitely one of the servants, since this is the 2nd outfit we've seen. Trying to think, has there been anybody else? Oh, that does not bode well for Benny or King Protea, then. I mean, maybe King Protea with mask, King Protea without mask, I guess? But Benny only had the 1 sprite. That doesn't bode well if we want to get either of the 2 altars on our side. But I want Protea and Benny altar. Can't believe you're out on your own on a sunless night. You should know better than that, Iskali. Or have you forgotten you're a king now? Tlaloc. No, I promise you I haven't forgotten. This is Mexico City's sanctuary, a holy area only the king, the gods, and any sacrifices may enter. No miscreant would dare come here. I'll be fine on my own. More importantly, why are you dressed like a human for proper human history? Don't worry about it. I'm just matching my brother. He told me if I'm going to protect Mexico City, I need to make a physical effort to be part of its culture. He also said that nobody likes antiquated, old-fashioned gods, and that the Aklama would say I'm behind the times if I don't keep up. With all due respect to Tezcatlipoca, I have no issue with your usual manner of dress, Tlaloc. If anything, it suits Mictlan well. It perfectly embodies both the blessings of rain and the death caused by flooding. That's true, this is a Lostbelt Mictlan. It's very different from the overly soft Mictlan of proper human history. Here, only fighters can survive. Do you know what Aztec mythology considered paradise is, Kali? A world where Mictlan is populated by non-warriors. A world where only people who go to the afterlife are those who died from natural causes instead of in battle. It doesn't even matter whether they were good or evil. It couldn't be more different from this Mictlan, at least for the Aklama. The Aklama are all brave warriors, yes. Dying in battle is the greatest offering they could make to Tezcatlipoca. That is where proper human history's Aztecs went wrong, not just with the ritual of rebirth. They ritually sacrifice people every day as offerings to their gods, or as payment for the gift of rain. Each and every day they slick their beautiful city with blood by carving out civilians' hearts. Not a day went by that the streets didn't run red with the blood, staining the moon's path. Such idiocy. How did they imagine they could change the world with the blood of ignorant slaves? We're nothing like that. We would never spill such useless blood. We only take organs with real power. Power enough to resurrect a god. And soon we will have enough sacrifices to accomplish our goal. The Chaldean mage and the expertly made artificial human both have hearts rarer than any dinos. They will be the perfect sacrifice for the ritual to resurrect the true Tezcatlipoca. Okay, so Da Vinci and Caddock. You know, maybe we can only save one of them. Just one of them can be saved, right? It'd be such a shame if we could only save Da Vinci, you know, but she is kind of more important. So, yeah. The Dinos Heartseed Collective have been sent to Mictlan's lowest stratum via the moon's path. Did my brother tell you about the lowest stratum?
He did. He said there's a weapon sleeping there that will destroy proper human history once and for all. 1 year ago, Tezcatlipoca came up here to the 5th stratum from the bottom one and blessed us with weapons. So we could return with him to the bottom stratum in a year's time and use the weapon there to destroy proper human history. That is his will, and we will gladly obey. We will, here in Mexico City, eradicate the Dinos, seize power all over Mictlan, replace the absurd proper human history, and become the next dominant species of this world. Yes, that's more or less correct. Very well, then. Resolute Iskali, you have grown much over this past year, and proven yourself to be the human Tezcatlipoca. Make sure that ritual tomorrow is a success. Remember, if it fails, your own life is forfeit. Yes, Tlaloc, I won't let you down. I will destroy proper human history's world. If the remaining Chaldeans have any backbone, they'll probably come and try and stop it. The mage would also make a good sacrifice. So I will cut off both their heads at the altar and offer up their still-beating hearts to you and Tezcatlipoca. Did you forget they beat you once before? Have you grown arrogant because your death holds no sway over you? Your body was charred to a crisp at the storm border. I pulled you from the river myself. So remember your debt to me, and be honest. Do you consider proper human history a worthy foe, or not? So the turning to dust was just symbolic. Ugh. Olga, we gotta work on your amplitude of your lightning if we want to really dust them. I look down on them, but I do take the threat they pose seriously. They're immature fools who lose all sense when they see one of their compatriots die. As a warrior, I am neither able to understand their feelings, nor do I wish to. Even if they intend to kill us, they are woefully unprepared for the possibility of their allies dying. Never hated anyone so much in all my life. These proper human history humans are absolutely revolting. I was raised by Tezcatlipoca. I see the very foundations of their civilization repugnant to me. I see, so he refuses to understand them, yet he can't let go of his hatred for them. Tlaloc. I was just thinking out loud, but if you heard me, then think carefully about what I meant. Tlaloc, please wait. What is it? Is your forehead okay? I mean, where Tezcatlipoca shot you. If it still hurts, I can have some medicine brought to you right away. That will not be necessary. I told you, I'm tough. Such thoughtfulness is a mark against you as Tezcatlipoca, but don't worry. I won't tell my brother. So they're going sort of Egyptian mythology where he is to become the god. As I thought, we can't call anyone from in here. Looks like this building itself is a sanctuary. Maybe it's home to a very powerful divine spirit. No, that would not explain the jamming of this nature. It's almost like an entirely different world, like the inside of a living creature. Or the inside of a spaceship which cuts off all radio waves. Kadok, are you listening? How long do you intend to sit around sulking? You do realize you're going to be sacrificed tomorrow, right? Do you not care about getting out of here? Keep it down, will you? I'm just trying to save my strength. Why does he get new clothes, too? He does not deserve new outfit. Keep him in his overly stuffy winter jacket. Sure, it will make taking his heart out a little bit more difficult, but I don't care. Rip his heart out. We've investigated this place as much as we can, and all we've learned is that we can't escape it on our own. So our only choice is to wait for them to show up. There's a small chance that... Nah, not a small chance. They'll be here. And when they come, I don't want to be so exhausted that I can't help. Sure, I'm worried about Da Vinci and Nemo, but there's nothing we can do with them off in a different cell. So I'm going to get some sleep while we can wait for a certain nut we all know couldn't stay awake even if he wanted to. There you are. There you see. I knew he'd get here in time. Sorry, I doubt I'm the nut you hoped for. David! Na 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 na. David! Hey, Zach! Welcome, welcome, welcome to the stream. Happy things, happy things. No, I should be surprised. This is your Lostbelt. It even sounds like you were the one who sent the Acclama after us right after the border crashed. Not to mention how, in the last meeting, you and Beryl were both talking about how your Lostbelts gave you plenty of opportunities for methodical killing. I sure as hell didn't expect you'd hand out guns to the locals and make them into an army, though. Nice 1960s Batman. Yeah, I don't know why I decided to go with that, but it felt appropriate. It felt appropriate. It was my servant's decision to pay your ship a visit. I had nothing to do with it. I've been away attending to different matters. I only just got back into Mexico City. Still, if I had been here, I'd have done the same thing, except I'd have finished you all off on the spot. So you're David Semvoid. Also, by the way, I totally have figured out one of the servants is definitely Tlaloc. She has 2 different outfits, which the only other person that has had 2 different appearances has been Tezcatlipoca with his child and adult form. So, given that those 2 have different outfits, I imagine those 2 are also summonables. I just hope that I'm wrong and that Protea and Benny and Maalter also are summonable, because they are awesome. I really hope so. But don't tell me if I'm right or if I'm wrong. I'm speculating. Nice to meet you. I'm Sion Eltnem Sokaris, one of Chaldea's allies. Sorry, I should have introduced myself. Just call me David. You must be the intermediary between Chaldea and the Wandering Sea, and the engineer of the anti-foreign god weapon. I'll make a note of your name and face. You're probably one of the first we should kill. I'm not as talented as Wodame, but at least in terms of memory, I can hold my own against anyone else. If we're ever in the same room again, you'll be the first one I kill. Promise. That's ominous. Okay. Kadok, correct me if I'm wrong, but he just announced his intent to kill me, did he not? What do you think he was doing, proposing? More importantly, if you're talking about meeting again, I'm guessing you're not going to kill us now. Why not? You're the last Cryptor. And unlike Kirshtaria, you're not openly rebelling against the foreign god. There's no reason for you to keep Chaldea alive, or me for that matter, now that I've decided to side with them. I didn't take you prisoner. Tezcatlipoca did. He has his own ideas and goals. Messing with them when I'm late to the party just feels wrong. Excuse me. Guess you could say he beat me to the punch. He's not the type to announce when he's heading out, and when he does come back, he'll say things like, "Hey, I spent your life savings. Hope you don't mind." As if it was no big deal. Sounds more like an abusive relationship than anything. So you don't get along for shit, huh? So you're not killing us because you're afraid of your own servant. That about right? Yes, he's one hell of a servant. Truly. He pulled Mictlan out from under the thumb of the alien being that was ruling it and established proper human history's rules here in only a year. In fact, Mexico City really belongs to him. He summoned temples, trained the Aklama, had them build the city, and chose their king. I only summoned him. Nothing more. If Chaldea means to go to war with this Lostbelt, he's the one you'll need to defeat, not me. Does that mean you have no interest in this Lostbelt, then, David? That you do not mind if Chaldea should succeed at excising it? Today, it'd be a problem. 10 days from now, I'd be fine with it. Weird. Interesting. Then conversely, does that mean if Chaldea cut down the Tree of Emptiness within 10 days, your plan would be ruined? If you could, yes. Personally, I don't really care either way. But since Wodame saw his plans through all the way to the end, I mean to do the same with my order. What are you talking about? Kirshtaria sure as hell didn't see his plans through. Did you forget about barrel-turning traitor and killing him right at the end there? I'm speaking of will, not results. He didn't go about his plan because he was absolutely certain it would work. He managed so much that, though he was at death's door the whole time, because he was driven by his will. He had no choice. Even at the end, he never lost that will. He might have wished things ended up differently, but he had no regret about his actions. That's what I meant when I say he saw his plans through to the end, even if he didn't succeed. Well, I guess you got a point there. But I digress. That isn't what I came to talk about, and I don't have much time to spare today. I have a question for you, Kadok. Why don't you have your own servant with you? You're a master. If you used a servant, escaping this place would be easy. Why would I have my own? I'm a Cryptor-turned-traitor. Chaldea had never let me summon a servant of my own, and I wasn't planning to ask anyway. No, not that. I'm asking why you don't use what you already have. Ignorance really must be bliss. I see why Peperoncino couldn't stop himself from looking after you. I'm talking about your serious light. A spell inside you that can generate dozens of times more magical energy than any command spell, the explosive device that instantaneously amplifies the user's magic circuits. Of course, using it kills you since it causes you to implode. Oh. That's kind of dark. The Sirius Light is a bomb, a kind of insurance Marisbury prepared to ensure the cryptors could always complete their order at their racial destination if they failed, even if it meant destroying the entire site to do so. It's a good thing Ophelia was already on the brink of death. She died before her Sirius Light could kill her. Had she used it before she was injured so badly, she would have died, taking Chaldea and the Shadow Border with her. Kinda figured that was why Beryl was there, right? To make sure we used them. If a cryptor ever got scared and tried to run from a singularity, he'd force them to activate their Sirius Light and complete the order by destroying the singularity's distortion. That's why there were 7 of us, because Marisbury never believed we'd actually be able to restore humanity. That's kind of dark and cruel. That was his intention from the start, yes. So what are you saying? You think I should use my Sirius Light and kill both of us here and now? You could, but Da Vinci and Nemo are both in the next cell. If you don't mind killing them too, I won't stop you, but I wouldn't recommend it. The Sirius Light may be a bomb, but for a master it's also a wild card. It lets you order your servant to do something far beyond their usual bounds. Remember what I said about Ophelia? You won't implode if you kill yourself shortly after using it. Once you use it, your death may be inevitable, but it can at least give you the chance to accomplish something first. The choice is yours, Caddock. That's it? Why'd you even come here for? See who I'm up against. Since I can't kill you, it was the least I could do. So David just set up Caddock's death flags. Those are some certain death flags raised. So Caddock gets to have a heroic sacrifice moment. Wow! Why can't we just rip his heart out? Oh no, that was something. Nothing I had heard about him could have prepared me for meeting him in person. Even though he was right there in front of me, it still didn't feel real. Nor did I have any idea what he was talking about. I'm impressed you were on a team with him though, Caddock. It felt more like I was talking to a hole in the very world than a person. Yeah, I know. I felt the same way at first. Believe it or not, he's actually pretty thoughtful, and the guy can read a room. He's the kind of guy who only says what you need to hear, so there must be a reason why he brought up the Sirius Lights just now. He's telling me to think about where I want to use mine and what to use it for. Sion, I have a favor to ask you. Would you mind keeping this discussion to... Yes, copy that. You want me to keep what he said about the Sirius Light's intended use for myself, right? I'd like to refuse, but I'm forced to admit that you still have yours because I'm unable to remove it from you. So I'll follow your lead here too. I know how to read a room after all. Once again, these sections are incredibly long. Final arrow, unknown enemy class. And of course, the screen blacks out, so I have to quit FGO, relaunch FGO. Zahak, are you still here, by the way? Because I think you disappeared last time before I could get my question out properly. So I will wait for you to respond to if you are here or not before asking the question again. Let's resume from start. Dot, dot, dot. Dot, dot, dot. Have you ever... you've streamed LB7. Have you had any issues when it comes to launching quests? Because whenever I launch a quest that involves a battle, the software I use to connect my phone to my computer always blacks out. And I've heard that BlueStacks has similar issues. So I was just not sure what's going on there. You've not? Darn. More dot dot dots, by the way. Having trouble sleeping, Soul? This is not a bug. Are you that worried about tomorrow's rescue operation? You're gonna wake everybody up. Hey, it's okay. When you're worried about your friends, your brainwaves form this beautiful spiral pattern. I'll praise you for that. Ah, you're using a tablet. Okay. So you're not using any external software, then. There's gotta be something with... It's gotta be something with the map, I think. something about transitioning from the, like, multi-layered map to something involving battles must just be too much processing power to handle. I can also tell you're not going to get any rest like this, and that I cannot allow. What's with this expression here? Good things come to those who sleep. No, a well-slept child is a well-kept child. Whatever. Point is, you need to sleep before a big day, right? If you can't do that on your own, then I'll help you. You just need to be really, really tired, right? Then leave it to me. I've never done this before, but it's super easy, so I'm sure it'll be great. This can't end well. Yeah, the thing is I don't have money to get a tablet, so... Alright, empty your mind and leave your body in the universe's hands. Channel open. Program name, President of Earth. Now get ready for hell inside my mind. She's pulling us into her head. That's kind of crazy. So dealer's choice as far as who we use. This is the party I use to combat Protea. We don't have Mash with us because we're presumably doing this all while we're asleep. I think Berserker probably is just the way to go here because I don't know what I'm up against. The question is AoE or single target? Let's go AoE Berserker, I think. Yeah, I haven't burned excess service yet. I'm Lazy Bum. Lazy Bum am I. Alright, AoE Berserker, sure. Yes. Move that. And then on Scotty, throw her CE. Good. Okay, let's see how this goes. No idea what we're up against, but we will find out here shortly. Why are we on the moon cell? These are all... yeah, these are all servants from... or at least associated with. Huh. Is there any deeper meaning to this? That is the question. There very well could be some deeper meaning to these being the servants we're up against. I need to see who else we're up against, though, first. Oh, charming him is not the best idea. Okay, no. Let's... yeah, that kind of shoots that theory in the... okay, I was about to say, is Olga actually from the Moon Cell or something? Because we're only getting Moon Cell-based servants, but Maeve kind of says no to that. At least I don't remember her being in any Moon Cell-related thing. And Mephistopheles is kind of just further confirmation that my assumption was incorrect. That's a lot of damage. That's a lot of damage. Do that. NP. Yeah, NP should be fine. It's interesting that this is what Olga Marie's idea of helping us sleep is. She's literally just wearing out our mind by mentally projecting. I do wonder how she knows all these servants, though. Kukulon altar is all... okay, that's a complete wild card. I was gonna say, wait, maybe it's because they're all starter servants, and this is just her channeling base Olga Marie, but No, Emiya Alter and Kukulon Alter kind of, shoots that theory in the foot. A cursed servant. What? Okay, that's annoying. Ruler. And an AoE stun on enter. Wait, this is... Hang on, let me see that sprite again. Oh, that's not on enter. That's a return. That sprite looks like Tlaloc. It very vaguely looks like Tlaloc's sprite there. You're gonna just keep stunning me every turn. And I feel like that's a stun that can't be removed. Shit. Okay. President of Earth, notice of termination. Okay. Thank you for ending the battle before I could figure out what the heck I needed to do, I guess. That saved me some trouble? I don't know. Well, what did you think of my special stimulation? Worst game ever! That can't be right. I spent a whole day trying to get the balance right. Okay then, tell me exactly which part was bad. Be specific. I don't think that first statement is anywhere close. It was worse than the worst movie I've ever seen. Why are your brainwave colors so sad? Alright, just you wait. I'll make sure the next battle's way more interesting. What was that last enemy? Yeah, what was that last enemy? So you did get what I was going for. That's right, the last enemy was my recreation of Tlaloc, the divine spirit we heard about at the storm border. There's a real good chance we'll fight her tomorrow, right? So I just let you get some practice in ahead of time. What practice? She rinsed me! If you're going to fight her, you need to be prepared for endless floods and river currents so strong you can hardly move. She never would have taken them by surprise if I'd been there, but there's still no telling what the battle might break out. But now that you fought her once, you should be able to form a plan, right? Especially since you never lost a rematch. I don't know what the hell she even did! You could choose servants who always float, or servants who can handle strong currents with no trouble at all. Oh, well, that... Choose servants who always float, or servants who can handle the strong currents. So... Pirate servants would presumably work. So, Blackbeard, Drake, Bonnie, and Mary... I don't have Drake. But she's a ruler. I don't want a list. I want to figure this out myself. Honest to goodness, I wish to figure this out by myself. So, servants that handle strong currents or servants who can always float. Ishtar always floats. I don't know if she's leveled up, though. Either way, I'm sure you can find a way to win. I'm counting on you, Soul. Thank you, Director. There you go again. I keep telling you, I'm the president, not the director. Director's obviously a much lower rank than the leader of a nation, although for some reason you calling me that doesn't bother me. Yeah, there's definitely an Olga Marie in there. Whoopsie. Pew! You're awake too? I am. Don't be too surprised, though. Mash is eavesdropping right over there, too. I mean, Mash does like to watch. So none of you can sleep? Fine, then. I'll just send you all to my simulation. Don't expect to get any sleep tonight. No more impossible games! Okay, that was a funny little outro bit there. That was a funny little outro bit there. But that was Section 9. Alright. 3 obsidian, 3 pures, 3 hellfires, and 1 quartz. So, I'm going to pause the recording here, so that way... Oh, God. I'm going to pause the recording here, because I separate the sections off. So, for now, those of you watching this on YouTube in the future, or I guess present, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe so you know when the next part of this comes out, because I upload these part by part, day by day. But make sure to subscribe to know when it comes live. So I will talk to you all later, YouTube, because it seems like Section 10 is going to be a doozy.